Hey gang, Mokoboy here. Welcome back, and thanks for tuning back in. We're going to do two quick recaps here from our last war with Zaragoza. We had a couple of really fantastic examples of, hang on a second. We had a couple of really fantastic examples of some of the new attack strategies. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. So yeah, a lot of us have been playing with GoHo, and you know, just like everybody else has been beating the drum about hogs not being dead, and people just didn't know how to use them. Yeah, Grizz has stepped up and showed us that that is actually the case. So let's just take a look at how this is going. Give you some live commentary here. First things first, this was a second attack, so we already knew where the bombs were, and he's starting to send in his hogs to go in and fish those out. This is a fairly easy pull because the clan castle is triggerable from over here once you get past this, once you get past that cannon. Once that's all done, really the next thing that you have to do is get your golem, your wizards, and your witch team, as well as your heroes, to engage the AQ as quickly as possible. So if you wanted to break down, hang on a second here, if you wanted to break down what the attack routes look like, so step number one, he's going to fish out the, he's going to fish out the bombs. Forget where the other ones are, but then the next thing he's going to do is engage the AQ and trigger the CC at the same time. Now this is one of those things where it's gonna vary from base to base, but because you are sending in kind of a mini go wee wee directly at the AQ, you actually don't need to worry about luring the castle or having to deal with them. Just keep one rage and and a good supply of witches behind you, backing you up, so that they can generate their skeletons, toss them in to block these guys up, and then have your wizards follow up right behind to blast them. So that's one of the really nice things about this. You don't even have to worry about the lure. I mean, it always helps to take care of the lure first, just because you never know what's going to come out of the clan castles. But it's one of the nice things that you don't have to worry about here. Now, once you get the AQ dealt with, you have a choice. Because this is a hog ring, you have to, well, number one, you're going to have to deal with setting up an ingress point. And typically the way that works is you set up a set of guardrails and then send in your coring team through whatever set of defenses is left. Now Grizz did something really interesting here in that he attacked one corner from different sides so that they both went this way, like that. And then when they met right about here, they just dove right into the core. I mean, and this was one of the nicest executions of a hog raid I've seen. So let's go ahead and watch this pan out, and I'll just pause as I can. So yeah, that's one bomb down. Here's the next bomb right down there, and you don't have to trip both of them. I mean, it'd be great if you could, but it's not really necessary. Sends in 3 hogs at the splash defenses to start luring out the clan castle, pre-lure out the clan castle. So once they're, he's counting up the troops, making sure he has everybody down. He drops his archer here to anchor the pole. That's one troop will lure out all of the entire clan castle. And notice, before they even engage the archer, his witches are already down, and they're already spawning skeletons. So this is important because remember, they don't spawn 8 skeletons right away. You have to give them time to spawn their 2 rounds of skeletons. So once that happens, one of the really nice things about this is that they bunch up the clan castle. If you see here, the skeletons bunch up, the wizards come in and then start bunching up, and then all it takes is 1 or 2 wizards here to take out that group, since they do splash damage. And then the other nice thing here is if he had dropped that golem just a little bit earlier, they would have distracted, or he would have distracted the clan castle troops long enough for the rest of the team to go in there and get them. Now, one of the really nice things here is that the AQ's already aggroed on the activated on the golem. So as soon as the clan castle troops are down, the next target is going to be the AQ, and you'll watch how fast she goes down once everything is set. So wizards are down. AQ is still beating on the golem, and everything is going to start focusing on her. Notice the target right there. She'll be down in about 2 shots. Bam, and she's gone. Now that you've got the clan castle dealt with and you have the AQ dealt with, you're free to start your attack. Now, this is one of the other things where, again, it's going to vary based on every raid, but one of the things that you want to do is, if you're going to be sending in your team in this way, send in a support team over on the side to take out a lot of the defenses that would take out this team. This is actually strong enough to take out one entire side of the base, so that leaves you free to focus on the other side of the base. That's not always going to be the case. Sometimes you'll send in one string high, one string low, and then just leave these guys alone to kind of do their thing. Each has its own merits. Again, it all depends on the base. So at this point, they're doing a great job of the funnel was already set up so that everything walked into the core, and he did go in from the corner, so that was another nice thing. That way you don't get a lot of troops wandering. So notice here the hogs came in from this side, the hogs came in from that side. They're starting to, let me just get this up here. Oops. They're doing this. And then when they take down that last Tesla, they're going to shoot right into the core. And this is just fantastic because this is a really efficient way to heal. Drops one heal right there. And there's not really anything in the core of the space that can hurt those hogs. The skeletons, that yes, they're a nuisance, but so long as you keep those hogs under heal, you'll be in good shape. So he missed one heal there. This is just one of those skills that you have to develop as a hogger. You have to kind of judge where obviously they're going to go, but then where do you drop that heal to get the most bang for your buck? And that usually means encompassing the most amount of defenses as possible. He's still got plenty of hogs left. He's got almost all of his kill team down. He's got his golem down. He's got his heroes going. At this point, once that last defense goes down, they turn their attention to the heroes and to the skeletons. And unfortunately, in this case, they did actually take out quite a few of them, but it didn't matter because there were more than enough troops left over to take out the rest of the base. So that was a really well executed GoHo raid. This is something that you're going to be seeing a lot of the guys here doing, because a lot of guys came into their hogs and then we just abandoned them after the bomb buff. All right, so let's see if we can take a look at. Okay, and Zag. This is one that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I know he's been wanting to do this for quite some time. So let's take a look at this base. Again, a hog ring. You've got the outer defense ring and then the inner defense ring, which doesn't have much of anything. It's just 2 expos and a bunch of air defenses, plus probably quad Teslas right here. This is a classic Holo Wee base, and there are. I wouldn't call it a generic template, but anywhere from 18 to 22 balloons and anywhere from 12 to 18 hogs, and then 7 to 10 wizards, along with whatever else you need, witches are always a great complement, either in your clan castle or as backup to go in and again take out the Archer Queen. It's always key that you have to try to funnel your troops into the Archer Queen as quickly as possible. And in this case, he bought three heals and a rage. If you do bring a rage, that's always great for the kill team. You don't want to use those on the hogs. He's got his deployments down. Typically you want 2 balloons for the level 7 wizard towers. Over deployed a little bit on the top, but I mean nothing too crazy. He decided to do these in rounds just to make sure that he had everything covered. 2 balloons apiece for the archer towers, which is good because you need 1 to tank for the flight time, and then the other one to actually drop the bomb. And then whatever else was left over took out what was left of the remaining defenses. So with the top part of the ring down, he starts his pull. And it's not, it's great if you can do the entire ring, but it's not always necessary. The big issue here is you always want to make sure that you're eliminating the double giant bomb threats. So that means focusing on the defenses that have these 2x4 spaces. So the lure comes in through the top. He's already got his witches down. He's already creating his funnel. There's a couple of buildings out here that are probably going to distract, so you got to be careful about taking care of those. Drops his rage down to finish up the rest of those, clan castle troops, and then drops his hogs right behind the kill team. Now this was a really smart move because you want to, as much as possible, preserve your kill team so they can go in and actually clean up the base, because typically what will end up happening is you'll have a mixture of hogs plus your kill team to clean up the base. Now there are quad Teslas here, so you want to make sure that these are max Teslas. You want to make sure that you double heal they were raged, and that was their first target, so they were able to get away with just one heal. But that's something that you always want to be careful about. If your hogs get hung up, it's okay, and you encounter quad Teslas, definitely consider definitely consider dropping 2 heals. Now Zag did heal kind of aggressively, but in this case it didn't really matter because he had almost all of his hogs survive. But now they're going up against splash defenses, and this is where things always usually start to get a little dicey. Now so he hit those double giant bombs, but it didn't matter because there were so few defenses left at this point, and he had preserved his kill team along with his heroes, that he was able to go in and clean up the rest of the space. So great job. He's been chasing after this for quite some time, and we've been supporting him the entire way. So congratulations, Zag, on finally getting that 3-star. All right, and let's see. We are also going to take a look at let's go ahead and take a look at 2 more. Raisin took on this base with, let's see. Okay, so yeah, this was a fun raid. She went in with 2 golems and 13 witches, and then dropped 2 sets of lightning bolts on the mortars to take care of them, and then just unleashed mass witches on this base. Now, this is not something that'll work on every single base. Typically, you want a base that has mortars that are going to be out of range for most of the base. And in this case, these 2 mortars right over here were completely useless because, what are they covering? They're defending one corner of the base. So she took out these 2 mortars and then sent in essentially 3 teams, 1 coring team, 1 to go low, 1 to go high, and then 1 to go low. And they just walked around the base, destroying everything in their path. So let's go ahead and watch that go down. And this is something that we've only seen a handful of times, but is a lot of fun to watch when it's done well. So she drops all 13 of her witches. I forget what she had in her clan castle, but we'll find out soon enough. 2 golems, 1 high, 1 low. Oh, okay, so she had CC golems, CC hogs, to help take out just some of the defenses right away. CC is activated, but the witches are generating all kinds of craziness, so they're not going to be able to do much. Raisin saved her heroes to start attacking the top and start nudging away at some of the defenses. And this is actually a pretty nifty move here, because what that does is, because she started destroying this chain up here, that allowed the witches to steer directly into the core of the base. And this is something that you'll see a lot with dragon raids, with just about any other kind of raid. If you see your troops starting to wander in a direction that you don't want them to go into, deploy some of those backup troops to bust out the chain, and then steer them where you want them to go. And witch raids are always kind of fun, but you never quite know how they're gonna work out, because a single giant bomb could take out the entire raid. If you're just that kind of unlucky. But in this particular case, her 13 witches managed to go in and just wreck this base, and had a bunch of DPS left over. Yeah, and that's 3. And that's 3 stars. And the last one I wanted to show you, because we have a lot of guys that are coming into their Valks. Now this one was a tricky base. Everybody's seen this base. It's it's a derivative of a flower base. And these are really effective because the defenses are housed inside pockets, and it makes it really difficult for you to fight in through one pocket and then have to fight out through the core and into all of the other pockets. But bases like this are susceptible to coring, as well as I kind of like to call them vacation attacks. And vacation attacks because you usually get one team going high, one team going low, and then one team going right into the core. And I did come in with Valks. Now a couple of the things that I want to point out here. I've got a CC golem, I've got 8 Valkyries, and then I've got 4 hogs left in reserve. And the 4 hogs I'm going to deploy on the back end of this base. Because what's going to happen is everything's going to make it to the middle and then smack up against these walls, and then have to fight through those walls to get to the defenses, and then that's where the hogs are going to come into play. But I brought a little bit of everything. Brought a little bit of everything on this raid. A couple of giants to pull, some wall breakers, wizards for the witch team, and then the Valks to just kind of do their thing. You know, they have so many hit points that they can survive a lot more than a lot of other troops that might kill a lot of other troops. So I get my pull going, and this was another trick that I learned on from one of our members, and that was it's not always necessary to pull the entire clan castle. You just have to pull out most of them. And what that means is you get the benefit of having 1 or 2 troops still pull your team into the core, but there's so few of them that they're not really going to be able to do anything other than just piss off your kill team. So I pulled out half the clan castle, dealt with them, and then used the other half to pull my troops into the core, and you'll see how that happens, how that works in just a sec. So pulls going, got all the archers, anchor my archer here. I'll start dropping my witches pretty soon. So a couple of barbs just to get their attention, and then the witches right behind them, skeleton, and then a couple more barbs, again, just to get their attention, because you don't want any of those archers keying in on your witches. So once everything's bunched up, it's time to start deploying the golems. I've got a couple of wizards up here to start breaking the trash ring. I didn't drop one down here, and that ended up biting me in the butt, because that ended up distracting a few troops to go down south. But it ended up working out in the end, and you'll see why in just a sec. So raging right into that clan castle, right into the remaining clan castle troops, as well as the AQ. You want to make sure you take care of her as quickly as possible. And then the Valks go to work. Once the CC's down as well as the AQ's down, I drop that first heal. And 2 heals is great for this, because you've got a lot of high hit point troops, and the longer you can keep them alive, the longer they'll be around to take care of the base. So at this point, the core is out. The AQ is the AQ, golem, whiz, and witches are in the core, just coring out hollowing out the middle of this base. And one really nice thing is that this team here is coming around the bottom side, taking care, well, for one thing, aggroing all of these defenses, distracting them long enough for the ranged units to come in and take care of them. Now notice at this point, I waited for these defenses to lock in on the golem, and then dropped my hogs in to take care of those guys. And at this point, I've only got 2 pockets left, and plenty of troops to take care of them. So this is one raid where kind of a mixed set of composition of high hit point and really fast troops went in and basically just went gangbuster in this base. But really the key here were these 4 hogs. If I hadn't dropped those 4 hogs to take care of just that one pocket, it probably would have been too much for the crew to deal with. And if you see how few troops I have left by the end, it might not have been enough to finish off every single one of those pockets. So that's it. We had 14 3 stars, which is a really that's a real big improvement over our last few matchups. And as you know, I've been pushing a lot of training nights with the team. If you have any questions about any of the strategies and tactics that you saw, just continue to ask in clan chat, and we'll supply you with the troops. But keep practicing, and keep those great attacks coming. Thanks, and see you on the next war.